On today's episode, these are the top 5 jerk restaurant moves. Let's jump in. Number 5, not acknowledging the server, busser, or whoever brought something to your table. Simple eye contact and a thank you is required. Also, if you learn that server's name, don't overuse it. Thank you, Becky. I appreciate you, Becky. Don't be dismissive. Don't be awkward. Just smile and say thank you when people bring you something. Number 4 jerk move, using terms like babe or sweetheart or buddy or hun or pal when you're talking to your server, busser, or anybody else at the restaurant. It's obnoxious and gross. Number 3 jerk moves, big gestures to try to get the server's attention. None of this. None of this. And definitely none of this. If you need someone's attention, make eye contact. They'll get the message. The number 2 jerk move, mentioning the tip to the server that's just fishing for them to say, "Oh, thank you so much," as though they owe you that extra appreciation. This does include handing the check presenter back to the server instead of leaving it on the table where it belongs. The only time that's acceptable is if you think it's the server's last table and you're trying to make sure that they can cash out for the end of their shift. And as you know, if you happen to be the last table in the restaurant, you should leave. Fun fact, although it's standard now in most places to leave the bill on the table until the guests have left, it used to be where restaurants would require you to pick it up prior to the guest leaving to see if it were signed properly and if proper payment were applied. And if it wasn't signed or there wasn't enough money on the table, you guessed it, restaurants used to make the servers pay for it. This is completely illegal. You are not required to pay when somebody else skips out on a tab. And if you happen to work for a restaurant that still does this, leave. All right, before we get to the number 1 jerk move, here's an honorable mention. Calling themselves foodies to the server. It's not as much of a jerk move as it is kind of a douchebag thing. Calling yourself a foodie just shows everyone you are lame. And now, the number 1 jerk move in a restaurant. When a staff member drops a tray, being that person who yells, "Opa!" and claps. Clapping for dropped plates is junior high school shit. And it's stupid. It's embarrassing. And if you happen to be out with somebody that does this, pretend to go to the restroom and never come back. All right, 5 jerk moves in a restaurant. If you happen to know of anyone who exhibits these behaviors, you might want to encourage them to get all of their future meals from a drive-thru. As always, thanks so much for tuning in. I'm over 500 subscribers now. Thank you so much. That is very cool. As always, check out my book, The Surprise Restaurant Manager. And if you don't know how to get a free PDF copy, watch this video here. All right, thanks so much, and watch out for jerks.